In this lecture, we are going to create a very simple movement behavior for the enemy, and this is only for the testing purpose. Later on, I'm going to show you how to use the AI system to control the behaviors of the enemy. First, let's go to the enemy blueprint. Then we go to the event graph. Here we just want to keep the enemy moving forward, like forever. So we're going to do this in the event tick. And we need to know the forward direction of the actor. So let's use a function called getActorForwardVector. This is going to give us the direction that the enemy is facing. We can drag out from the return value, then use the addMovement input. Notice that the return value is automatically connected to the world direction input. Let's connect the event tick to this node. Also, like I mentioned before, we do not need to use the delta time here with the movement, because the addMovement input node is going to take the delta time into consideration internally. When we test, we see the enemy can walk onto the steps. This is not the behavior that we want, because later on we want to add a patrol behavior to the enemy, and the enemy should be able to turn around when it approaches a step or a wall. Let's select the character movement component. Then we can search for step. We can reduce the max step height. Let's set it to 20. We also want to restrain the movement of the enemy within the 2D plane. Let's search for plane. Enable constraint to plane. Then for the normal of the plane, we set the y value to 1. Usually our enemy is not going to shift along the y-axis, but it's still a good idea to do this, just in case. Alright, let's test the game again. Unfortunately, the enemy can still walk onto the steps. Seems like we still need to tweak the settings. I think we also need to change the size of the collision shape, because for now it's too round. I feel like that's one of the reasons the enemy can walk onto the steps. Select the capsule component. Let's decrease the radius to 14. Then we select the character movement component again. Set max step height to 0. Alright, let's check what is going to happen now. Great, the enemy stops at the step. Now we can wrap up this lecture.